go. Welcome, everyone. This is Jenkins Platform SIG meeting. Today, we're on September 23, 2025. And around the very small table, we have Mark Waite and myself, Bruno Verhachten. Today, we'll talk just a little bit about the Windows 219 depreciation. We'll talk a little bit about Debian Trixie, known also as Debian 13, Java 25, and of course, the usual suspects, the container image updates for the Jenkins controller, agents, the work in progress on images. Lots of things have been merged today. We'll talk about that. And maybe just a word about alternate platforms. Mark, is there anything you would like to add to the agenda?
No, that's a good set. That's a very good set.
Thank you. So I know for a fact that we already talked about the Windows 2019 depreciation in the previous Platform SIG meeting, but it's coming. And as long as it's not done, I guess that is a subject that we should talk about just a little bit. So as you know it now, Windows 2019 will go out of support very soon. I think it's next year, so very soon-ish. And we also have a new version of Windows Server, the 2025, which offers faster CI builds with the dev drive that you have experimented with, Mark. Am I right?
A little, but I haven't yet done the benchmarks that I need to see if it's actually beneficial and what it means. But yes, I've done a little bit of experimenting, and I know some others who've done some initial experiments.
And so far, so good, I've been told.
Yes, correct.
So we
far,
have two.
No disasters detected, no problems reported, no. Oh, it doesn't work like this. It looks promising.
So we have two very good reasons to migrate to 2025. First of all, is the depreciation of the 2019, and second one is the dev drive. And if we spend less time in the CI, that means less money for the Jenkins project to spend. So that's all good. We should definitely spend some time on that, but we have some other things to do before that. So that will come when it will come. But stay tuned. Now for Debian 13. Mark, you had something to add? No, I thought I heard something. No. Okay. So Debian 13, known as Trixie, is now available. It's been the case for several weeks now, but we were not in a hurry to merge everything into Debian Trixie. So a few weeks ago, maybe 1 month now, we had a PR regarding the SSH agent Docker image that got migrated to Trixie. And so far, so good. I heard no complaints whatsoever. And we still have two other PRs. We had two other PRs running until a few minutes ago. One for the agent Docker image is still running. We are not in a hurry. And the one for the controller. And Hervé Lemeur just told me a few minutes ago that Tim Jacom had merged the one for the Jenkins controller. So, Mark, as far as I understand, if we merge these two master, so I heard that the latest weekly had gone with Trixie instead of Bookworm, and that should be the case also for the next LTS, or I would just shy of this and it won't be part of the next LTS.
So it will be part of whatever's on the master branch, certainly will be part of next LTS.
That was my understanding. Okay.
The Trixie merge, I don't think made it into the weekly. Let me double check just to be sure.
Because a few minutes ago, I just had a look at the weeklies, the release change, and I saw a breaking change, the breaking Linux update Debian image to Trixie. That was,
oh, good.
I was
okay.
wondering.
Then if that's what it says, then that's the reality. I had merged the change for bandwidth reduction yesterday, but I didn't check this morning, so let me look and see. It's easy.
I think the changelog is wrong. I think the changelog may be wrong. I don't know how, but it was merged, I think, 20 minutes ago, and the build happened before that. So I don't get it.
So, well, and that's okay. That just means the next release, next weekly, we'll have it. And that's good too. Okay. We want it. This is the perfect time for it to arrive because we've done the last .3. Our next will be a .1, and now we have several weeks of weeklies that will be on Trixie before the .1 transitions to Trixie as well. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
this is the perfect timing for it to be merged. And I think Tim knew that, and all we have to do is correct the change log for 2.528 because I'm pretty sure I can prove that it's not running
Trixie. Yeah,
Trixie. Right.
cat slash etcos release, and we should know.
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
hard.
Sorry, I knew you. Yeah. So while I'll go with the agenda, please do so and let us know when it's ready.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark. So you wanted a few weeks ago to have an alternative approach, which is maybe create a stable branch and living branch for the weeklies or something like that, so that we know it's working with weeklies before creating
Yeah, and given
an
this
LTS. But
change,
that's not what happened.
we don't have to bother with that. This
Yeah.
Tim found a path forward that's much better than my suggestion, much less effort, and will still give us multiple weeks of Trixie on weekly before we transition to Trixie on LTS.
Okay, but is it something we should think about for next release of Debian, for example, or is the path that Tim found still okay for the next releases?
Tim's path is okay for the next releases, and the next Debian release is 2 years away. So
Yeah, I
planning
know
for
we
the
still got
next
time.
Debian release. Now we might say, ooh, should we do it for that time when we drop Java 17 support?
Uh-huh.
Yes, that might be, but again, this same pattern works reasonably well, right? So if we can bring it into a weekly immediately after the .3 of an LTS, then we have several weeks before we have 3 or 4 weeks before the .1 delivers.
Good, got it. So, Mark, did you get the answer from the OS
Not yet.
release? Not
I'm
yet.
just
Okay, go.
starting my container
Sorry.
image. So the container image, for whatever reason, my computer oh, whoops, I'm using the wrong computer. That's why.
Uh-huh.
My computers that are doing my Docker work are a little bit slow today, apparently, and so I need to yeah, very slow today, and I'm not sure why.
Okay, so let me
So
continue then.
continue.
And
I will
yeah,
do
yeah.
my best to try to.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to interrupt when you have the answer. I can't wait. Now, Java 25. So it has been released last week, at least from Oracle. The official release has been released, but we are using Tamarin's JDK build. So we have been looking at the release, and as of yesterday, I think we didn't have all the platforms released for the official general availability for Tamarin. So we had to wait. I had a look this morning and I found 169 assets. It looks like most everything is there, almost
Mhm.
everything. But I ran a few update CLI scripts this morning and they failed. So one or more platforms may still be missing. So it's not yet
Okay.
time to move on. And in most of our repos, by the way, we don't have an update CI manifest to update to a general availability of the JDK 25. We're still working with early access, so nothing should pop up in our mailbox. We will have to do something by hand.
Right.
Anyhow,
So to answer your earlier question about Trixie,
yeah.
the container image Jenkins colon 2.529 reports that it is running version 12 Bookworm.
Aha. Yeah, so the change
So
log is
so
wrong. Okay.
yeah. So now I want to go check the change log and see, yeah, see when that change happened, because if it was merged a few minutes ago, then we just need to
25
correct
maybe.
the
Yeah.
yeah. So let me just oh, let's see. So you said that the release, okay. All right, 2.529. Other change, yeah, it's not been updated to Trixie yet. Okay, I'll take that out.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
So as a developer, that shouldn't refrain you from testing it because it's been available for several weeks now. Not the official release, not the general availability, but the early access release has been installed on the Jenkins infrastructure. So if you ever want to try and compile a plugin with JDK25, it's already possible. You just have to add in your Jenkins file JDK25, and it should work out of the box. Unless you have very specific dependencies, as you have experienced, Mark, right?
Right.
And we are still trying to compile automatically the top 250 plugins with JDK25. But as I said 2 weeks ago, the tests I'm doing are not that significant because some of the plugins I'm trying to compile don't like to be compiled in parallel with other plugins. So the number is wrong, but it's better than 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was around 49%, and now we are 51% without changing anything. I think, Mark, with your tweaking of the parent POM, you're around 80%, right?
Hang on, I'm not sure I'm all the way to 80%, but I'm
It's better
definitely
than
more than 50,
51.
right?
Yeah.
Grep. Yeah, let me do a quick check. Build.success. See if I've still got the records hanging around. Okay, so I've got failures 31 and successes 167.
Whoa. Yeah,
So
much better than 51.
and that's and even there, some of those successes, well, some of the failures are easy to fix, others I don't know how to fix. So and that's a narrow scope in the sense that I didn't touch anything that was using a parent POM prior to parent POM 5. So anything with 4 or earlier, I didn't even attempt.
But if they were using 5 dot something, you just moved it to
I forced them to
recent.
5.26 and off we went.
That was enough. So if you plugin maintainers are listening to that, just give it a try. You never know. It could work.
Right.
Thank you, Mark.
And we have several plugins over the course of the last week that have upgraded to actually run CI jobs that are checking Java 25.
Really? Oh, are we
Yes,
tracking them in a sheet somewhere?
We have a tracking sheet, but I don't think it's been updated. It's manually maintained. So, and I don't expect to update the sheet right now. We're going to do this the way we've done it in the past.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I already have a process that tracks JDK 8, 11, 17. Why not upgrade it to just track JDK 25 and even update the sheet automatically? Because, yes, we can do so. That'd be a good idea. Thank you, Mark.
Great.
Yeah, as for agents, so we now have a JDK 25 preview Docker agent image. It's been the case for several weeks. And the SSH agent PR is still in review. So we have just the Docker agent, and that's all. This one for the controller is still on review, so it hasn't been merged yet. We are not in a hurry, so all is fine. Any questions, Mark, or remarks regarding what we just said? Okay.
No questions for me.
Let's move to the container image updates for the controller. So the LTS was last week. Hervé was the release manager. I heard that everything went fine. We didn't have any breaking change, so we have the usual dependency updates. We had an important security advisory. That's something you should have a look at, and that's why you should also upgrade to this version. And don't get me wrong, Mark, I think it was also the case for the 520, what was it? 8? Yeah, 8, of course. It was also a security advisory, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was. That's correct.
So definitely, if you're using weekly or LTS, please upgrade. And in the latest STLs, I saw something that caught my eye. Memory consumption, reduce memory consumption. That's something that end users want to see. You know, people administrating Jenkins server controller somewhere. That's something interesting. I don't have the numbers. I don't know how many % we gain, but that's always something nice to see. For the next LTS, it will be 200.528.1. It has been chosen beginning of this week or end of last week. I just can't remember, but it was interesting, mostly, not mostly, but particularly because there is a security, there are some security fixes in the 200.528, which is the base for the next LTS. So the release candidate will be by 1st October, which is more than a week, and 8 days from now. And the real release will be on the 15th of October. And once again, Hervé Lemer is the release lead. Thank you so much for that, Hervé. And the release checklist has already been created if you want to have a look at it. Now, for the weeklies, nothing really groundbreaking. This breaking change should be removed because it will be part of the next one, not this one. So, update of the bookworm of UB9. Hervé also did something regarding the downloading of the war from the mirrors, unless of downloading it directly from the Jenkins infra. That could save us a few bucks here and there, because yes, network is kind of pricey. And it also has. Yes, you had a comment, Mark.
No, continue.
Thank you. And Hervé also changed the Jenkins URL and Jenkins SHA to war URL and war SHA. Because why not? I can't remember the motivation for that, but
because Jenkins _URL is an environment variable that's used by Jenkins jobs to give the URL of the Jenkins controller. And so we don't want to fight with. Admittedly, it's possible to win that fight, to decide that I'm going to set it instead of but why bother? Let's just admit that it's a war file, and therefore we're going to name it war URL and war SHA.
Okay, so we went to war and won the war this time. Cool.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes. Web archive, we did.
Yeah. Now, the container image update for the Jenkins agent. So I hadn't seen any new release for the SSH agent. The last one was 7.1.0. Before that, we had the 7.0.0. And the 7.1 was because we moved from Bookworm to Trixie. That's why we changed the number. And the 7.1.0 was just a version update of Trixie, going from 13 to 13.1. So nothing really major. If it works for a Trixie for you, that's cool. And if it's not working, we want to know. And we want to know why. Thank you. Now, for the Docker agent, 2 new releases. The first one was still with the 3327 remoting jar. And the next one is with the 3341. And in the 3341, I've seen mostly version changes, version bumps, but nothing major, unless I missed something, Mark.
No, I think that matches.
Okay, pretty cool. And we had the move to JDK 25 preview. So we now have an image of the Docker agent with JDK 25. Now, on the controller, that one doesn't work anymore because it has been merged. So it should be out. Yet it had been merged 37 minutes ago, so it's pretty new, and that's super cool. Thanks a lot, Valentin, for proposing this PR, and I hope we'll get some news 1 week from now when it will be part of the weekly release. The only other we have is adding the support for JDK 25 preview, and once again, we're not in a hurry, so that will come when that will come. And as for the Docker agent, I think it's Hervé who is also working. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Hervé. On removing, adding the remoting ops optional envar. That's something that was started, I think, with JCClick, if I'm not mistaken, because for the time being, we weren't able to add options for the remoting.
He needed to be able to embed spaces. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it has been changed, and it's a nice change, so why not? Right. We also have the move to Debian Trixie, because why not? And we still have the install git LFS PR running, because we have to have a recent version in order to do the things we have to do. Sorry, I'm not even vague. Mark, you maybe know more about that, but we definitely need a recent version of git LFS to do something.
Yes, the something is, well, it's we need we need latest version of Git LFS because older versions have security vulnerabilities or have, let's say it differently. Older versions use libraries that cause scanners to complain.
Oh, okay.
And we're tired of scanner complaints. It's really the
Really?
sincere answer is we're tired of scanner complaints because they don't help us much.
I see. Thank you, Mark. I was having a discussion earlier, between Debian, Ubuntu, Arc, Manjaro, and so on. Because sometimes you have something very stable, but maybe very old, but stable. And sometimes you have
Mm-hmm.
something very new and maybe with a lot of issues, like for the XZ story, when something was badly done, but too late for the distros having something out of the oven, just baked, then, oopsie, you have a CV embedded or lots of other things. So you have to balance between old things stables, but maybe with some CVEs and new things with other kind of problems. It's a struggle. Sometimes you have to choose. We chose then to install the Git LFS from the repo in order to have less CVEs, or at least so that the scanners let us know. Thank you so much for your insight, Mark. And the last one for the Docker SSH agent, we have, of course, the support for JDK 25 preview, and we're still not in a hurry, so all is fine. The only subject that I have left is the Gitpod Classic. I'm not so sure I understood fully what was going on in this article that I have given the link, but it looks like Gitpod may sunset in a way or another. Maybe I misunderstood, so I'm not so sure. As for now, I still tried it earlier today, and I just have something called now ONA instead of Gitpod, but it works the same. So I don't know how much we will get impacted by that. And you may wonder, yes, of course, we tell about Gitpod in some parts of the documentation, but it's not mandatory. It's just something that was used in order to get people up to speed with the Jenkins quick start tutorials. Because if you're in a place where you're not allowed to install Docker, if you're in a place where the network is really bad, everything happens within the browser with a limited connectivity, it does work. That's why it was interesting and I would say inclusive to use Gitpod, because anybody on any, even a lame machine, an old Chromebook, whatever. I even tried it in my car entertainment system. It does work. So that was nice, but now it's maybe dead. I don't know. Do you know anything about that, Mark?
So I just made the transition from Gitpod Classic to trying their next thing, and it did
Oh,
require changes. The challenge is, should we go through the difficulty of documenting those changes or just accept that we're going to remove the Gitpod things rather than try to document the changes? I don't remember the details of the changes, and I didn't have time to do the detailed exploring. So there were some minor changes that were needed. They are switching to, well, they're striving to be profitable, right? They're
of
striving to
course.
be a viable business, and so good for them. But it will mean changes to our documentation if we're going to continue to use them, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I had seen some things about the migration process, but I haven't even tried because it still works for me. So
Right.
yeah, we'll see. And I was wondering if you should switch to GitHub Codespaces, but last time I tried, it was not free. Maybe it's free now, but it used to
Yeah.
be, I don't know.
I think I've tried GitHub Codespaces as well, and I suspect they allowed me to use it because I'm a Jenkins maintainer, and they also grant me a Copilot license, right, as a maintainer. So
Yeah,
I have access to Copilot because of being a Jenkins maintainer, and it may be that I could also use Codespaces, but I don't think that should motivate us to document Codespaces as a preferred technique, something that new contributors would have to purchase feels
no,
too
no,
heavyweight.
definitely not.
Do it
Of
locally,
course.
use your local equipment.
Yeah, and same for me. I don't know if I had GitHub Codespaces and Copilot and everything because I'm a committer for the Jenkins project, or because I'm a part-time teacher, or
Right.
any other reason. So I don't know if people coming out of the blue just creating a GitHub account would be able to use those kind of tools. So yeah, definitely we have to step back and think again about that. Thank you
Right.
for your insight, Mark. And that's all I had in the agenda. Is there anything else you would like to address, Mark?
That's all that I had. Thanks, Bruno.
Fantastic, Mark. Thank you so much. So the recording should be available from 24 to 48 hours, and we should see each other 2 weeks from now. Until then, have fun with Jenkins. Bye-bye.